Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have a whole generation of lost boys who are raised by their single mammies. They walk about the world telling the rest of the men who were raised by a two-parent households, who grew up in a healthy upbringing, who were raised by both a mommy and a daddy. They're out here telling us that there's something wrong with us and that us being masculine is a regressive, far-right political movement. Oh no, but there's nothing wrong with them, with their degenerate way of living, with them being part of the limp-wristed community, or as I like to refer to them as the Skittles, the Skittle community. I can't say the word J-A-Y because of the, censorship. But you get the point. You get the idea. Comedian Siv Ngesi and current Springbok captain Kholisi were acting about like a couple of women trauma bonding over the issues surrounding gender-based violence. I find it extremely odd that whenever we talk about gender-based violence, the first thing we think about is violence against women. Men suffer from gender-based violence as well. Did you know? Men have feelings too, did you know? Men are human. Studies show that men suffer from gender-based violence pretty much more or less on the same level as women do. The only problem is men, they tend not to report it as frequently as women. As a matter of fact, how many women have been found to have been lying that they were, assaulted by their spouses? Amber Heard, anyone? Oh no, MrShowTym, shush, shush! That goes against the narrative. That goes against the wokest agenda. We don't want to reveal that, men suffer from gender-based violence from their women as well. That goes against the narrative. Shush about that. No, let's only frame men as the predators and only women as the victims. Of course, men can never be victims of gender-based violence. Now, can they? Not according to today's narrative. Not according to what Kholisi and Siv Ngesi wants to believe. Not according to the female imperative narrative agenda. I know I just said that, and that just I just spoke Spanish to a lot of you NPCs. Yes, men also suffer from gender-based violence pretty much more or less the same rates as women do. The only difference is men tend to not report it, because when men get abused, it doesn't get taken seriously. People tend to laugh at us and say, oh, come on, bro. Toughen up, bro. You got beat by a girl. Yeah, it's funny. The pains of a man is funny. It's not to be taken seriously, right? Of course. Which is why you hear a lot of simps in my comment section who will use the exception to the rule. But women, put the... but what about the men though? Have you noticed, every time I express issues and the sufferings of men, they always want to circle it back to what to the female to females pain. If I say that, hey, listen, women abuse their partners verbally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. And then you get a whole bunch of simps. But men do it too. We're not talking about the men. Which, in this particular scenario, we're talking about the women. Stay on topic, right? They always want to deflect. And what I've noticed is when people deflect, oh no, you're hitting the G-spot. You're exposing too much, so much that they had to deflect. No, but men do it too. I'm not talking about the men. That's a conversation for another day. We're talking about what women are doing wrong. Oh no. Cancel. Censorship, shadow banned. Now here's the funny thing I've noticed about the Springboks. We have shifted towards the outward, racism movement. How we're gonna battle and we're gonna end racism. Now it went from those portrayals. Now it's about the female imperative empowerment. It's all about empowering the women. See Kholisi talking about, I don't want to live in a world where it's built for us men and it's disadvantaged and oppressive towards women. Excuse me? Yes, this world was built by men. It wasn't built for men only. I mean, women exist as well. And they've been protected and provided for. By who? Men. Masculine men. Men who invent. Men who build. Men who serve and protect. After all, us men, we are the sacrificial gender. It's funny how no one seems to have a problem with me saying that men are the sacrificial gender. We have a burden of performance to serve, provide, and protect. But as soon as I, flip it towards the women and saying that women are the weaker sex, women are the incubating sex. Their purpose is to incubate and bear children. Oh no. All sorts of hellfire and brimstone comes tumbling down upon us. Upon any man who dares to challenge the female imperative. Because that's wrong. That's oppressive. Women in the past have been oppressed. How? How have women in the past been oppressed? I'm confused. How have men providing, adhering to gender roles been oppressive towards women? How? When women can just stay at home and just maintain and, uphold, turn a house into a home. How is that oppressive? You see, really and for truly, that's not oppressive. It's yet a simple narrative by the powers that be to basically flip everything on its head. I mean, such things are written in the Bible after all. Satan is the father of all lies and deception. He is here to do the opposite of what God does, of what God has made in this world. Men are designed to be men, women are designed to be women. Now you have these weirdos of today who have such a huge following, who have been put in the mainstream limelight, such as Siv Ngesi, who has a very questionable past, if you know what I mean. Have a look at these photos. Are these the type of influencers you want influencing young men? Where's his father? Where's his daddy? Okay, enough of that. Okay, I just ate some breakfast this morning. I do not want to vomit it out. No more showing those pictures. They're disgusting. Anyway, you have a lot of these public figures and presenters of today who are very, how should you say, on the spectrum. They're special, in other words. Mentally special. And not in a good way. They want to get rid of Andrew Tate, who's telling young men to, make as much money as possible. Go to the gym. Get your finances in order. Be on some masculine stuff. Oh no, they want to throw him in the slammer, in a Romanian slammer. But these weirdos of today, who are telling men that they're wrong for being men and that they should tone down their masculinity by catering to the female empowerment narrative, to the female imperative. Oh, that's totally fine. Amazing. Funny how that works. The Springboks in SA, I mean, they're the same things going on in America. The exact same things. It's so sad that, the Springboks, one of South Africa's beloved religions, SA Rugby, has turned from being a sporting code to now a platform for wokeism, woke SJW narratives. It's all you see now with the Springboks. BEE, quotas and transformation, all the shebang. All this weird stuff. It's no longer just a sport. It's no longer just a sporting team. I mean, Siv Ngesi himself has shifted his focus from being a Springbok player to being a public figure. He's doing more documentaries than ever about the oppressive apartheid regime, which, we know the story. But that's all he's focusing on. And he's been doing these campaigns telling us that we should, view female sports more than ever. I mean, listen, most people in general, we're not interested in female sporting codes. Because women are the weaker sex. Women are not as strong as men. Women are not as physically capable as men. Women are not as fast as men. It's just not the same. And guess what? You will never fool all of us. You might fool some of us. You might fool the idiots that, who are of your ilk, the weirdos who are raised by single mothers. You'll fool them since they are weird just like you. These are the same people who are going to be in my comment section talking about, oh, you're just full of hate. I mean, I'm afraid to go out there into the world myself. Because if you challenge the female imperative, you'll get cancelled. You'll get shut down. You'll get ostracized. You'll be kicked out of your athletics group. And you'll be kicked out of your WhatsApp group for sharing a meme on today's flawed marriage system. For sharing it on your WhatsApp group. Anyway, like I was saying, dear powers that be, you fool the masses, but you'll never be able to fool some of us. You will never get me to cater to the female imperative, because it's satanic. God never meant women to be the star or the leaders of anything. That honor belongs to Adam, the first man. It starts with a man, it ends with a man. It starts with a man, it ends with a man.